BNZ Energy is a company based on transformational generative artificial intelligence, or genAI. The new innovative genAI solves three problems. Currently, generative artificial intelligence has a lack of technical performance, requires a very large upfront investment to train, and has an insignificant revenue model. BNZ Energy has genAI that works, does not boil a small lake in the process, and has a $1 trillion revenue model. The market for BNZ Energy, that is beyond net zero energy, is the $20 trillion per year sustainable energy market that is up for grabs. The revenue model also eliminates the humongous fractional reserve banking risk and is a revolutionary way of doing high-frequency arbitrage trading. BNZ Energy is bootstrapped from a $50 million investment to a $25 billion IPO in 2 to 4 years, then growing 40% per year as the private equity fund of the future to an eventual $10 trillion valuation. BNZ Energy eventually will invest more than $1 trillion per year in the strategically important markets of sustainable energy production and lithium mines to batteries and to electric vehicles. BNZ also solves the problem of not enough investment being made in the transition to sustainable energy. BNZ Energy is based on a revolutionary new genAI-enabled Ubuntu Business Model. To understand the need for this new model, let's start by asking ourselves these questions. Doesn't it bother you that businesses seem to maximize their exploitation of society, that they do not seem to have a sense of social responsibility? To get a bit closer to what's going on here, let's go and think about these questions. When you calculate the net present value of a business, summing the discounted profits, doesn't it seem that something is wrong with that calculation of increase in asset value or return? You do not care if your business still exists in 20 years. You feel that you are entitled to charge your customers more than it costs you to produce your product, or you are entitled to pay your suppliers and employees less than the value of the products that they are producing? Aren't you someone's customer and/or supplier? Let us continue by asking, what is genAI? By answering this question, we will be able to resolve the dilemmas exposed by the answers to the previous questions and solve the problems with genAI stated in the first paragraph. Generative artificial intelligence mathematically approximates the, quote, generator or action of a system's collective behavior or evolution or flow, whether that be a function or a functional. The evolution of the collective system can then be artificially generated or forecasted. Subsequently, decisions can be made based on those forecasts or predictions of the system's collective behavior. In addition, knowing how the collective behaves and how one wants the collective to behave, a force can be designed and applied to have the collective behave in the desired way. The collective system can be controlled. Knowing the generator of the collective behavior is equivalent to knowing the symmetry or topology of the collective system. Now, by knowing what genAI is, BNZ Energy has constructed a better genAI that, number one, has excellent performance, number two, requires less upfront investment, and number three, most importantly, enables the Ubuntu business model that maximizes not net present value, but GDP, not social exploitation, but social good. BNZ Energy generates return not through asset liquidation, but through growth of asset value. BNZ Energy is not a Sam Altman Y Combinator mixed startup that sells tech in the box, yielding free cash flow with significant MPV, but using the new Ubuntu business model enabled by genAI and transparent transactional equity generates true wealth through growth of asset value. BNZ Energy does not harvest a sunsetting asset as an annuity, that is a cash cow with debt financing, but is private equity of the future based on Ubuntu finance. BNZ Energy is not financially evaluated by examining the statement of cash flows, but by examining the balance sheet. BNZ Energy operates not as BlackRock investments based on debt financing, but as White Rock investments based on Ubuntu financing. It does not sell tech in the box for profit like Apple Incorporated, but maximizes the social good like the great civil rights leaders and philanthropists. No more cash cows, a better world instead.